Hey there, on this Saturday night, we told you we would bring you updates as we continue to follow the latest on the mass shooting at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. Earlier, we were watching a press conference that is going to start at any moment now as we're expecting an update. But here's what we know right now. 2 people are dead. We don't know if they are faculty, students, who they might be, but we also know 8 others, they say, are critically injured but are in stable condition. We also don't know the range of ages in the victims. We don't know if they're staff or students. Those are things that we might learn during this upcoming news conference. Let's walk you through what we're seeing. At the top right corner there at your screen, you see media setting up. Not sure. This looks like it might be maybe a fire department or something like that with a garage there. And then at the bottom, you can see some video from the scene that we have been following all throughout. Details that we learned earlier in the news conference where we saw an array of officials, including the governor there in Rhode Island. We saw the mayor of Providence. We saw the police chief, as this is a joint investigation between Brown University Police, FBI, and also Providence Police as well. They say the call came in around 4:05, and I believe this is a live image that you can really see, or just some video that we see from earlier there, just showing that collaborative effort as it's all hands on deck as they work to safely comb through the scene. But the details that we've learned so far, 4:05 is when that call came in. A shooter opened fire on the campus in one of the buildings. And keep in mind, it is a Saturday, but we are about a week and a half from Christmas and the Christmas break. They're wrapping up. So we were told that they were taking some sort of a final from 2 o'clock until 5 o'clock, and then an hour before that was set to end, a gunman opened fire inside. They didn't give any details on just where exactly the shooting took place. Was it in a classroom? Was it in a hallway? Those are all details that they asked, but right now it's just too early in the investigation. Again, we are monitoring a news conference that is set to begin at any moment there. As far as the suspect, all they said earlier was a male suspect dressed in black. They might have more details here. Earlier, we thought that they might have made an arrest or detained someone. They have since let whoever that person go, saying that they are not related or had no relation to this particular crime. We also thought at some point that there might have been a second shooting. There were reports of gunshots maybe a couple of blocks away, but they have since debunked that as well there. So earlier when we talked around, what was that, around 6:30, 7 o'clock, when we did that initial news conference and briefing with you, and for those of you guys joining us back in, we are on YouTube, so if you have any questions or anything like that, we'll work to answer it. Our sister station and Fox Network is up there as well. A shelter in place was issued earlier there on the campus. Interested to see if that is still in place. So of course, this is a college campus. It is still in effect now, but we do know that they're asking those students who might have been off with friends or just away from campus. They were saying, they're advising them not to come back on campus. They also talked a little bit about those students and staff members who were on campus to shelter in place. So usually, I've worked several mass shootings before. So in a situation like that, and again, this is a live look, and we'll start, it looks like the Providence. So that's the first person coming in. I believe that is Governor McKee, who is the Rhode Island governor there. You can see the task force coming in with the state police task force, an array, as again, I see FBI agents coming in as they're all working together. We'll watch that news conference together, and we'll bring an update at the end when they make their way to the podium as well. But I was talking a little bit about when it comes to mass shootings there, what they have to do is, we saw one here in the Atlanta area. This was back in August during the CDC shooting, several different buildings there. So even if that shooting did not happen at that building, they will comb through meticulously, going through each building, clearing the scene, making sure the suspect's not in there. Earlier, they were also saying that they were triple and quadruple checking to make sure there were no other victims or any other injuries in that building. So that is probably what's been going on the past couple of times there. And again, you just see the heavy police presence there on the screen. And again, we saw some officials coming in. So at any time, we are expecting that news conference to start. Again, for those of you just joining us, we are monitoring the mass shooting happening in Providence, Rhode Island at Brown University, one of our Ivy Leagues there. I was doing some research. There is an alumni group here. So several of those here in the Atlanta area, you have connections to that. You might have students students who go there. Of course, they have not released the identity of the 2 people killed or any of the relation of the 8 critically injured, but we're told in stable condition. They were very clear. This is a fluid situation. So those numbers could have fluctuated. I'm hoping that we do not see any more deceased there. Of course, our hearts go out during the winter months. There's really no time for anything like this to be a good time for it to happen. But again, we've been monitoring just some of the situation that has happened there, and I believe some more people are coming in on the side as it looks like they are getting ready to go at any minute there. Earlier, we heard from Derek Silver. He was a fire chief there. We heard from Brett Smiley. He was with Providence Police Chief as well. So it is really all hands on deck as they are getting ready to brief the media, the public, those thousands of people who I'm sure are watching across the campus or across the country as well. 405, again, is just going to recap it for you for those who might have come in at the last moment there. But 405 is when, just getting a note from one of our producers there, they said hundreds of students hid in a basement, and we've been seeing them talking to different students there. So you can only imagine being there, taking your final, which is already a stressful time as it is. I mean, many moons removed from college, but I can remember taking the finals and just the stress that comes with that. And then those students having to hide in a basement. They don't know if they're friends, their faculty members, if they are hurt or not there as well. I believe we will probably also hear from Tim O'Hara, who is the deputy chief at Providence as well. I'm sure the governor's there. We're sure that the mayor is probably there, Providence as well, as that call came in just after 4:05 to the campus of Brown University. 2 dead, 8 critically injured, as we work to hope to get some sort of an update as well. I'm not sure if we have any of the sound queued up from earlier in the day. If so, we'll play a little bit of that. And we'll keep an eye out on just the recent as well. So just again, we're going to play a little sound from earlier a couple of hours ago. We'll monitor what's happening now, and we'll bring you in to update as they come back to that podium. We'll listen together as well.
I'm going to share what we do know at this time, but please bear with us as we know sometimes these details shift as the investigation progresses. Sadly, today is a day that the city of Providence and the state of Rhode Island prayed would never come. We've heard about horrific acts of gun violence and active shooter situations in other places, but not here. But this afternoon at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we received a call. 4:05 was when the initial call came in to Brown University of a report of an active shooter. I can confirm that there are 2 individuals who have died this afternoon, and there are another 8 in critical status, though stable, at Rhode Island Hospital. Those are the only injuries or casualties that we know at this time. But as I mentioned, and it's important to remind folks, these numbers may change. We are still in early hours, but at this time there are 2 deceased and 8 who are critical but stable at Rhode Island Hospital. Additionally, we do not have a shooter in custody at this time. There is a shelter in place in effect for the greater Brown University area. If you live on or near Brown's campus, we are encouraging you to stay home and stay inside. If you're not home at this time, we would encourage you not to return to your homes until the shelter in place has been lifted. We will make regular updates through all City of Providence official social media channels. That's where you can find out more information about the shelter in place, if it changes, when it's lifted. I want to commend the heroic work of the Providence Police Department, the Brown Police Department, Providence Fire Department, and the many agencies who provided mutual aid today. Brown Police responded first and then were quickly assisted by Providence Police, who fearlessly and courageously entered and worked through the building, and we'll hear from them in a minute. Providence Fire responded quickly as well and transported several of the victims. The fire department was assisted with mutual aid from across the state of Rhode Island. And as I think we know our community to be, our neighbors have really stepped up in a big way today. And we're very grateful for everyone who has offered assistance and who will continue to offer assistance. The fire department was aided by departments in Warwick, Barrington, Bristol, Brown, EMS, Pawtucket, Cranston, Coventry, Smithfield, East Greenwich, North Kingstown, Woonsocket, Professional Ambulance Company, Scituate, and Cumberland.
To a news conference from earlier. We'll get you to the news conference that's happening now in the same location. Let's watch together as it looks like the officials are coming up, and let's see if we can see just some of those who it might be. We know the provost of Brown is there. I believe that is the governor of Rhode Island that is right behind. This is a new face that's standing there as well. So this is happening right now. Again, we were listening earlier to a press conference around 7 o'clock. Let's listen in together, and then we'll recap as well.
Good evening, everybody. Again, I'm Providence Mayor Brett Smiley. We're here to provide an update on the ongoing investigation from this afternoon's horrific attack and terrible act of violence in our community. In just a moment, we'll hear from our Governor Dan McKee, and from Brown University President Chris Paxson. Then there are other officials, including and especially law enforcement officials, who are here and able to answer questions. But the three of us will be the only formal speakers, and then we'll take all of your questions and continue to try to be as transparent as possible. As I mentioned at the earlier update, this is an evolving situation, and there are details that are subject to change, and so we want to continue to recognize that we're not done yet, and so we will continue to update, and please bear with us if we learn more or if there are additional details. One of the new details that I'm sorry to have to share is that there is one additional victim of today. So now there are 9 injured individuals. There was one additional victim who had left the scene. It was not a gunshot wound. The individual learned that they had received fragments from the shooting that had occurred near them, and so they have non-life-threatening injuries, but is now the 9th victim who is is expected to have a full recovery. Additionally, we want to make sure the community knows the individual responsible is still at large, but importantly, at the conclusion of this press update, we will be releasing a short video showing an image of the suspect. That will be available to all of you when we finish this briefing. We know there's a lot of fear and anxiety in the community right now, and we want folks to know that while it is the case that the shelter in place remains in effect for the broader Brown community, that includes campus and the neighborhoods surrounding the campus, we are doing everything we can, and we've been receiving tremendous assistance from our partners in law enforcement. The governor, under his leadership with the state police, has been terrific. The FBI, the ATF, and many communities around Rhode Island have assisted. There are over 400 officers currently in the area assisting with both the investigation and to ensure the safety of the Providence community. Additionally, Providence Fire has been deployed to venues of assembly. We know that this is a busy time. It's a Saturday night in the holiday season, and so you may see firefighters at the mall, at PPAC, at Roger Williams Park, and we don't want anyone to be concerned that there are any issues, but rather we want folks who are out in the community tonight to see a person in a position of authority and to feel safe in our community. We have no reason to believe that there are any additional threats at this time. Any calls that have been received in the last several hours to 911 have been unrelated, and there have been no additional calls for service or calls of anything related to this incident. The video that will be released is from that building where the shooting occurred, which is the Barris and Holly building, looking towards Hope Street. And as I mentioned, that will be shared as soon as we conclude. We are still encouraging, as we did earlier, for anyone who thinks that they might have information relevant to the investigation to call the police, the Providence Police non-emergency line, which is 401-272-3121, 401-272-3121. Of course, you can also call 911, but if you have information that you think might be able to assist in our investigation, please give us a call. At this time, I'd like to turn the mic over to our Governor, Dan McKee, who's been in touch with federal, state partners and has been a tremendous assistance to us here in Providence throughout the evening. Governor?
Hey, Mayor, and thank you for your leadership and all your entire team. And our job right now is to support your team, and we're doing just that. All our state resources are available, not only to the mayor, but also Brown University, which our hearts go out to Brown University. I have had calls along with the mayor, with the FBI director, Patel, who was offered assistance to us as well, a direct assistance. I just received a call from the President Trump as well, expressing the same type of urgency and the same type of offers to respond to us in a way that we, one, keep people safe, but also, two, we're going to make sure that we catch the individual that brought so much suffering to so many people. And so with that, I would just say that we're going to continue to work together. State police is on board. We know that there's going to be needed for some counseling strategies, so we've already activated that through our health department. And we'll make sure that we take the lead from the mayor and then provide all the assistance we possibly can, along with your lead as well, President Paxton. So with that, I'll give the mic back to you.
Thank you, Governor. Now we'll introduce Brown University President Christine Paxson. Brown PD was the first to respond and has been an incredible partner, and we have two priorities right now as a community. One, to bring the individual responsible to justice, and two, to pray for the full recovery of those affected. The Brown community's heart is breaking, and Providence's heart is breaking along with it. We're a week and a half away from Christmas, and all of us are getting calls from concerned families, parents, employees, relatives, and so President, we just want you to know that Providence and Brown stand together today, tomorrow, and in the months ahead. Please.
Thank you. Yes, this is the day that one hopes never happens, and it has. I really appreciate everything that the local law enforcement and everybody is doing to help find this person, make sure that we can be safe as a community. Our focus right now is on supporting the families who have been affected by this, the families of the two students who sadly lost their lives today, as well as the 8, now 9 students who are in the hospital. We've been in touch with their families. I will talk to them soon. But you know, we will come together as a community and we'll get through this. Currently, the students are still all in lockdown, as are people in the area. And hopefully we can get them back to their dorms and feeling safe and secure as soon as possible. But thank you for everything you're doing there.
Thank you, Chris. We'll take questions for law enforcement personnel, anyone who's here today and share as much information as we can at this time.
Can we,
Dan.
Dan J. Group, Channel 10, Mayor, can you talk a little bit about what we're going to see in this video?
All right, we've been listening together, and I'm going to keep it low in my ear as I kind of talk over that news conference a little bit, and we'll pop that up in some boxes so we can see who's talking with who. Right now, I believe this is police chief with Providence, but we want to recap a little bit. So we just learned an additional victim was found there. I believe that person self-transported to the hospital wasn't there, still on the scene. So now the injured went from 8 to 9 with 2 people still deceased. That was the same information, the 2 deceased earlier in the day. So the last person we heard from was Christina Paxson. She's the president of Brown University there. She said 2 students were deceased. That is something new that I don't believe that has been released just yet. They have not released any names of those involved there. They say they've been continuously getting calls, of course, understandably, from families around the country. A shelter in place still in effect as well. So they're asking those on campus, those in the nearby area, to shelter in place. We also learned that video images from the shooting showing the suspect will be released at the end of this news conference. So hopefully we'll be able to get that and get that out to disseminate to those in the public to hopefully help in this case. They're asking anyone with information to come forward there. Again, we are listening to the police chief. He is up in the right, answering questions from it. We also heard from the provost, we heard from the mayor and the governor, who also said that he's talked with the president and they have the full support. State police also as well. So we've just learned an additional person, 9 injured, 2 dead, believed to have been students. We don't know the motive, but we are expecting some images to come in as well. Of course, this is a story we will stay on top of as we get ready for our 10 o'clock news. And as this story develops throughout the night, of course, stay with Fox 5 and Fox 5 News Live. Of course, this is the forum for this. We welcome those conversations. We're able to update you in real time and answer those questions and kind of talk with what we know, but also what we don't know and the questions that many of you have as well. So, of course, we're going to get ready for our 10 o'clock news, but of course, stick with us. It's been a pleasure to have you with us on this difficult day for so many people and students, and of course, our prayers go out to those on the campus of Brown University.
We're safe. We removed that.